Hallo liebe Blogbesucher, Creative Chief Officer von Pixar John Lasseter ist in der Stadt, um seinen neuen Film Cars 2 vorzustellen. Ja, und Disney hat mir 3 Minuten Zeit gegeben, um eure Fragen an ihn zu richten. Ich würde sagen, los geht's. Paul from Google Plus wants to know, how many Hawaiian shirts do you own?
I have 375 in active rotation, probably over 1,000 kind of boxed away, and I have them all filed under subject matter.
Torben from Facebook wants to know, which Pixar character comes closest to John Lasseter?
I guess all of them.
Anhäuser from Twitter wants to know, with animation anything goes. Is that only heaven or sometimes hell?
Well, you know, one of the things is that it's all comes from the story, right? The story is the most important thing, and that drives everything we do in all of our films. The technical development, the art direction, everything. It's the story is the key.
Dirk wants to know from Facebook, is creativity limited ever since Disney took over Pixar?
No, the culture of Pixar has not changed at all. In fact, Pixar is affecting Disney, and so Disney Animation has become more of a filmmaker-driven studio like Pixar.
Sarah Emily from Twitter wants to know, who inspires you most and why?
Who inspires me most? You know, there's so much inspiration in my life. I would say my family probably inspires me the most. I think the filmmakers that have inspired me a lot is Walt Disney, Frank Capra, Preston Sturges, Alfred Hitchcock. Is these kind of filmmakers through my in studying Buster Keaton. You know, these are the filmmakers that I've really studied that have really inspired me.
Martin from Google Plus wants to know, and Michael too from Facebook, your relations with Steve Jobs today.
He's a good friend.
Stefan from my blog wants to know, how long does rendering a scene takes today in comparison when you started?
It's interesting because it still takes a long time. Sometimes as short as a few seconds a frame, sometimes as long as 80 hours a frame. Even in the current movies, it's like that because the complexity keeps growing.
Thomas from Google Plus wants to know, how did you like the new Tron movie?
Oh, it was very exciting.
Tim from Facebook wants to know, any news from Monsters Inc. 2?
The sequel to Monsters Inc. is actually a prequel. It means it happens before it, which is unique for a Pixar sequel. It's a story about how Sully and Mike met at college, and it's called Monsters University.
Andy Twitter wants to know, what about Incredibles Part 2?
No comment on that.
Wavetime Inc. wants to know from Twitter, besides sequels, any new standalone movie in pipeline?
Well, of course. That's what Pixar's about. We have, the sequels. The sequel, we were prevented for years from doing sequels, and since the merger with Disney, we were able to finally do sequels, which is great. And so that was 5 years ago. So we started right away in Toy Story 3. We did Toy Story 3, came out last year. This is Cars 2. We have Monsters in the works. But next year is an original movie. Next year is an original movie called Brave, which is set in medieval Scotland. And then we have a bunch of original movies coming after that. Dirk from Facebook wants to know, any plans for like a movie only for grown-ups? I do make movies only for grown-ups. They happen to be great for kids too. And it's like, why would I trim my audience down in half?
Detlef from Facebook, augmented reality, is that a tool that Pixar might use one day?
I'm not exactly sure what that is.
Michael from my blog wants to know, Pixar and Ghibli studios in Japan, what do they share and what differs them?
Hayao Miyazaki, Suzuki-san, everyone at Studio Ghibli are dear friends of mine and ours at Pixar, and we really are inspired by their work, and we really want to help them, the world, see their films because they are fantastic. And so in the United States, we help do the English language versions of the film. We work with Disney to help distribute and market them, and we're very excited for people to see all of their films.
And last question from Richard. Oh, that's me. I'm going to be in San Francisco at the end of August. Will it be okay for me to show by at Pixar? Would you make that happen?
Talk to Robin Chandler right there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time for our audience. Thank you.